years in the making, can't you?
I don't know, Alice. Can you?
Sure you can. Oh, look, there he is.
Mr. Leroy, tell us, is Donnie ready?
He's ready.
That mean we can expect a record?
He's got the record.
Not AAU, world.
Boy, imagine the pressure on that boy. You'd think it was the Olympic tryout instead of just an ordinary league meet.
Swimmers up. Take your mark.
Leroy's time for the first 100 meters, 56 and 3/10 seconds. 3/10 seconds ahead of his own AAU record. That's only 2/10 off the world mark.
What was it? Shoulder cramp? What? Why'd you quit? I don't know, Dad.
What do you mean you don't know?
I just quit.
Had to tell him something. If I told him he just quit for no apparent reason, they'd tear him to shreds. Look what they did to Jim Ryan.
Come in. Hi, Pete.
Dixon, do you have any idea how long I've been waiting for you?
Sorry, Mr. Leroy, I just heard. Pete, did you have any idea that Donnie was going to quit in the middle of that race yesterday? No, I didn't. Why?
Dixon, I don't know if it's you personally or the school or what. My boy says he doesn't want to swim anymore. Now, this notion had to come from somewhere.
What did Donnie say?
That he's old enough to make his own decisions, set his own goals. Nonsense that he says came straight from you.
Mr. Leroy, outside of his studies, the only thing that your son and I ever talked about was swimming.
Then why is it he quotes you as if you were one of the big authorities over his life? Mr. Dixon says life is for living.
He probably has taken something I said in class and built a case on it.
What you say in class is not what I am concerned with. It is what the two of you must have been talking about all those afternoons when Donnie was late for practice. Now, you're not going to tell me he wasn't with you.
Yes, we were together, but I assumed you knew why.
You see, Mr. Leroy, Donnie is an average student, but with all the time he's missed this semester competing, his grades have dropped considerably. He was in danger of becoming ineligible for any outside activity, including swimming. Mr. Dixon volunteered to tutor him on his own time so that that wouldn't happen.
Well, maybe I'm wrong to blame you personally, but this decision of his had to come from somewhere. I just don't know the answer. That's why I'm here.
Didn't Donnie give you any kind of a clue that something like this was about to happen?
Well, I'll admit, Donnie and I, there's a lot we don't share. But what we did share was the most important thing in both our lives, swimming. Don't you understand? The only thing I've ever wanted for him was to know the excitement, the feeling that you can't give a name to that comes with being a champion athlete. Yesterday, he was so close to that. Today, he's just another kid.
Well,
this morning at 6 o'clock, when I tried to get him up for his morning workout, I found the door to his room locked. He said he was going to sleep in. Now, this may sound strange to you, but my son has never slept in. Never in his life.
Sorry I'm late, but we'll have to do our best to catch up tomorrow. Oh,
Switch on to chapter 21 and 22. And don't forget, the term reports are due 2 weeks from today.
Hey, man, don't let them hassle you. Just because you're a celebrity and all that doesn't mean they own you.
Thanks, Jace. Well, I guess you finally met my father, huh?
Well, it could have been under better circumstances, but yes, I met him. Tell me something, Donnie. How did he get the impression that I had something to do with what happened yesterday?
Well, he did, Mr. Dixon. If it weren't for you, I might never have done it.
Now, what's that supposed to mean?
Well, I guess I started growing up a little bit. Started thinking for myself, all the things we talked about.
We?
Well, not personally, I mean in class.
Oh. Are you saying that you, quit for me or for yourself?
Well, for me, of course.
Well, that's good.
You're not down on me for what I did. Because if you are, I'd probably go back to swimming right now.
No, I'm not down on you. But, Donnie, I think you're missing the point. If you really started thinking for yourself, then you should know exactly why you quit. I mean, it was your decision. So it doesn't really matter what your father or I think. You're the one who has to live with it.
I guess so. Mr. Dixon, do you have any idea what my life has been like up to now? Other kids have hobbies. I've had swimming. Other kids have dates. I've had swimming. Other kids have fathers. I've had a coach. Since I've been born, it's been like a full-time career instead of a sport.
But don't the rewards make up for most of that?
Rewards? Once you've seen your name in the paper a couple of times, so much for that thrill. At 20, when you're over the hill, if you're lucky, you become a coach. If you aren't, you open up a bar and hope that somebody gets around to naming a swimsuit for you, some rewards. Well, yesterday, it hit me it didn't have to be like that. You know what I did this morning?
You slept in.
Yeah. He told you, huh? What a fantastic experience. Just lying there, getting my head together, just not even thinking, really, just
lying there.
Yeah. A whole hour with nothing to do. Maybe that's what I've missed most, just being a plain, old, ordinary person for a change.
Is that why you quit?
I guess so. Big part of it, anyway.
Well, you better get going. It'll be late for class.
Thanks, Mr. Dixon. Camera club. Hey, what's the camera club?
Oh, it's easy. You take pictures, develop them yourself.
You know what you do is you stake yourself out a corner downtown. You wait for somebody to come by and you say, hey, man, you want to buy some dirty pictures?
Hey, Bernie, that's really funny. I don't think it's funny.
Hey, man, I'll tell you what you really dig is the radio club.
I didn't know we had one.
Doesn't know we have a radio club. Yeah, well, it's new this year. Hey, we need a new sportscaster. You know, Koufax did it when he retired. Dandy Don Meredith, Howard Cosell. Come here, let me show you.
Hi, everybody. Jason, I didn't know you had aspirations to be a thespian.
I don't, Miss Johnson. I just stopped by to give Chicken Little here, you know, some moral support. Come on, man, get up here and show these dudes your stuff.
That's okay, Miss Johnson. I can wait my turn.
No, come on, Larry. You and Pam start. Act 2, Scene 1, Oregon and Marianne. Okay?
Marianne.
Father.
Come here. I want to speak to you in confidence.
What are you looking for?
I want to see if there's any eavesdropping.
Hi.
There, for that's
Here
the
to
kind
try
of
out?
place they chose to hire.
Yeah, I came in earlier and picked up one of these.
Now, Marianne.
I've been practicing.
You've always had a
The
gentle
sign didn't say open tryouts.
Right. But I think I should tell you, just in case you get the part, it's going to take up an awful lot of your time. I mean, we start rehearsals at 3:30, and we don't finish until close to 6.
You should be very
3:30, huh? I got camera club at 3. That's no sweat. Oh, I told Bernie I'd help him out in the radio station at 3:30. I don't suppose I could have
Now tell me.
a chance to come in at 4?
I'm afraid not.
Wait, I could do the radio thing at 12. And then all I'd have to do is think of another time to do the camera thing.
It sounds to me like you have a pretty full schedule already. Why don't you just wait till next semester to get into drama club?
Are you kidding, Miss Johnson? This is too good of a chance to pass up. Look, I've already got it figured out. I'll take the pictures for Camera Club in the morning before school.
Fine with me. But isn't that going to be a drag getting up so early in the morning?
No, not for me. Till this week, I was never up later than 6. Believe me, Miss Johnson, I'll never miss that extra hour in the sack.
Chester A. Arthur, Forgotten Patriot or Robber Baron. That an original title, Jason?
Sure, Mr. Dixon. Originally, it was on the book I found in the library.
Well, glad you could make it, Donnie. Oversleep?
I'm sorry I'm late, Mr. Dixon. Here's my report.
Oh, Donnie, got a moment?
Can I wait till later, Mr. Dixon? And as I say, folks, just a small technical difficulty. No sportscaster.
Hit it, champ. You're on.
Pete, do you think Donnie's little experiment at being his own man is kind of falling apart?
Not necessarily.
I don't know. I think somebody's got to give that boy a little guidance. Liz tells me that in 2 short weeks, his grades have dropped from a borderline B to a C. Now, that's not a reason to panic yet, but I have asked her to talk to him.
Well, she better make an appointment, because he's a very, very busy man.
Pete, why don't you talk to him? The way that boy feels about you, he'd probably do anything you say.
That's what I'm afraid of. That boy is so conditioned to people telling him what to do that his own freedom is the toughest thing he's ever had to face.
So what are you suggesting?
Wait it out. The only thing that I can do is be there when he falls on his face. Not necessarily to pick him up, but just to point out what he tripped over.
Clearly it tortures her to look at me. I'd better free her from the painful...
Hey. Larry. What are you doing my part for?
Keep on going, everybody.
Hey, Miss Johnson, what's going on?
Come here, I'd like to see...
I know I'm late. If that's it, I'm sorry.
I've replaced you in the play, Donnie. You're not just late. You're 15 minutes late. And it's not the first time.
Miss Johnson, I know my part better than anyone. You said so yourself. Come on, you can't just throw me out for being late a few times.
What if you happen to be 15 minutes late for a performance?
I just wouldn't be, that's all.
Look, those kids are here because they chose drama over any other activity they could be doing. Now, why are you here?
Because I've always wanted to act.
Then maybe you should have concentrated on this and given up your other activities.
Yeah, but I always wanted to do those other activities, too. There's no rule that says I can't be in more than one activity.
No. But you see, I have my rule, Donnie. It's not easy putting on one of these extravaganzas. And I have to expect everyone to be here at least on time.
Especially if you're afraid that they might quit at any moment.
Donnie, my decision wasn't in any way personal. I've been more lenient with you than I should have been. We all have. Just to show you that we weren't down on you. I'm sorry if I had hurt you like this.
Sure you are, Miss Johnson. The whole world loves a quitter, right? It's really fun to make them show how human they are.
Do I think?
Hey, Helen. Hey, what's happening?
Hi, Donnie. How come you're not in play practice?
Who needs it? Listen, everything's cool for tonight, isn't it?
Look, I don't want to get into a whole number, but let's forget about it, huh? You're a nice guy, but...
You're not still mad at me for standing you up last week, are you?
No, not so much that. It was the night you did show up. That's all you talked about was how busy you were. Look, I know you haven't had that much experience with girls. That can be a little dull. Listen, if you can't dig honesty, then you'll probably hate me for the rest of your life. But if you can, then maybe we can try it again sometime. Okay?
All right, now Koufax did it. Dandy Don Meredith. Howard Cosell. Now, how can you go wrong?
you for a minute? I'd like to talk to you about something.
Gang up on the quitter, right, Miss McIntyre? Teach him that he can't disappoint the sports fans of America.
What are you talking about?
I know my grades have slipped, but don't worry too much about it because I've learned my lesson.
What lesson? What happened?
Read what? I've been coming to the house 1-2 a day for the last 2 weeks. There ain't letters, Mr. Dixon. People comparing me to Benedict Arnold.
What do you mean?
Nothing except I've learned my lesson. You and Dad were right. I had no business quitting swimming.
I never said that.
All right, so my dad said it then. What difference does it make? I don't have any other choice, so I'm going back to swimming.
Because it's a nice, easy retreat.
No. Because I'm a flop at everything else, just being a normal person.
Well, what you've been doing the past couple of weeks hasn't been exactly what you call living a normal life. It's been more like setting yourself up for a fall.
Mr. Dixon, I just wanted to do the things I couldn't do before.
All at one time?
All right, so maybe I overdid it a little.
What happened to that peaceful hour in the sack you enjoyed so much?
I don't know. Mr. Dixon, how do you just cool it when you've never done it before?
I think you start by liking yourself well enough to be alone. Like you did that first morning after you quit. Enough to laugh at yourself. You don't expect it all to happen at once.
Maybe it's already too late.
What do you mean?
Swimming is what I do best, and a person ought to do what he does best.
Two minutes flat. A few more days, it'll all be back. Just you watch. Hey, it feels good getting back in shape, right? Huh?
Great, Dad.
Okay, go take a hot one. Stay in there so long you can fall asleep standing up. Mr. Leroy? Hey! Actually, I just wanted to apologize to you for sounding off the other day over at Kaufman's office like I did.
Oh, that's all right. Forget it. I know how you felt. How's he coming along?
Well, Donnie? Great. Just recorded his best time all week. Hey, you want some tickets to Santa Clara? They're yours for the asking, as many as you want.
Maybe I'll take you up on it.
Good. You know, I never did get your first name. My name's Sid.
Pete.
Pete.
Yeah.
Pete is Donnie's teacher. Maybe you can see things more objectively than I can. I mean, those 2 weeks were murder, and I had time to think about a lot of things, and I'm not sure that I've been doing the right thing with Donnie and his career all these years.
Well, I'm afraid I can't answer that for you.
No, I suppose you can't. I don't know. My own dreams were so frustrated, I guess. See, my dad thought the only road to travel was law, and he pushed me so hard that I wound up doing what he least expected. I started training to be a champion swimmer. What I couldn't see at the time was that I started too late to ever be more than a bush leaguer. So now I put enough into law to get by, and I try to put into Donnie what I didn't get from my dad. Pete, he's not just a good swimmer. Maybe he's the best there ever was. He could win 3 gold medals in Munich and just own that town. I know he could.
What happens when he's past his peak?
He'd never have to raise a finger. Endorsements alone would make him a rich man. Don't you see, the one irrefutable point is that swimming is what he does best.
Who says we have to do what we do best? When I was in school, I played football best. But I personally felt that I'd have a more satisfying life if I became a school teacher.
Well, maybe I ought to let him make up his own mind for a change.
He tried that, but he fell flat on his face.
Well, maybe it's time I started to help him explore his life and on his terms.
I'm sure that little plan ought to keep both of you busy for quite some time. See ya.
Guy comes right out of practice, changes his clothes, and goes home. You mean he never takes a shower?
Not that I ever saw.
Probably figures if he's too clean, he ain't sincere. Look.
At ease, at ease.
Now that's too clean.
Can I help you?
I have an appointment with Mr. Kaufman.
Oh, well, you go right down this hall and turn to...
I know.
All right, so she wanted to get married. That's okay, but couldn't she give me notice and then elope? Well, keep looking for a substitute. Right. Oh, hey, I think I'll ask Alice Johnson if she knows anything about home ec. Yeah, well, I doubt it too, but I'll ask her. Right, okay, thank you. Bye-bye. Sorry about that. Sometimes things pile up around here.
Yes, sir.
Let's see, where were we? The injury, how'd you get it, shrapnel?
No, baseball. We had games between the outfits.
Oh. I'm trying to remember if you played baseball when you were a student at Whitman.
No, sir, I didn't. I guess I just didn't have the confidence, but I filled out some of the Marines. Anyway, the knee problem isn't serious, but it was bad enough to get me a medical discharge. So, I thought I'd like to come back and finish my senior year. That is, if that's okay.
How old are you?
19, just a couple months ago.
Well, sure, you can finish up at Whitman, but don't you think you'd be a little better off in adult night classes?
Night classes?
Sure, I mean, after 2 years in the service, you might be a little bit uncomfortable as a regular high school student.
Oh, no. No, I've been thinking about it a lot. I want to come back to Whitman.
Well, okay. Just fill out the forms and welcome back.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Kaufman. You don't know how I've been looking forward to this.
But my uncle still hates the Germans and the Japanese. And the war's been over for 25 years.
I know. But that's because the newspapers, the radio, newsreels, movies, all show the Japanese and the Germans as evil people. Unfortunately, many people still think of them that same way.
You mean the movies were propaganda too, Mr. Dixon?
Sure. You know, movies can be a very effective means of making people think a certain way.
What about the TV? Every night you see a war coming from somewhere, Vietnam or the Middle East. But you don't think of those people you see as good guys and bad guys, like in those old movies. You just see poor people suffering.
That's true, Valerie. Mass communication has also taken a lot of the glory out of war and taught us a little bit about how other people live.
Do you think mass communication will ever help us to prevent war and distrust?
Well, what do you all think? Monty?
I don't know if this answers the question, but it happened to me.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just a kid when I joined the service.
Oh, just a kid? That's like us.
I guess some of you didn't know that I spent over a year in Vietnam with the Marines.
I got a cousin Joe in the Marines. Do you know him?
That's enough, Paul.
Well, anyway, I went to Japan once on an R&R, and that's rest and rehabilitation.
Oh, I thought that was Roy and Rogers.
All right, let's listen to what Monty has to say. We might get something out of it. Go ahead, Monty.
Well, it's really nothing, except I had a lot of crazy ideas about what Japan would be like. But when I got there, I...
Hold it. Monty?
No, that's all right. Forget it.
Okay. Read chapter 9 and we'll continue tomorrow.
Well, that was like old times.
What do you mean?
You know, making a jerk out of myself.
I wouldn't take it too seriously.
You know, I changed since I left Whitman.
Well, I'm sure you have. After spending a couple of years in the Marines, you're bound to think differently than any of the kids here.
Yeah. I used to be just a skinny little jerk that nobody noticed. Just one of the creeps hanging around waiting for one of the big shots to say hello. I didn't have a date the whole time I was here.
Is that why you quit school?
Sure. Seemed to me like everybody else was having a good time except me. It was really crummy to go from class to class every day without being noticed.
Is it so important to you to be noticed, Monty?
Are you kidding? I thought about it the whole time I was in the service. You know, I'd say to myself when things would get tough, I'd say, hang in there, Monty. When you get out and you go back to Whitman, you're going to be somebody. Somebody that the other kids look up to.
Tell me something, Monty. If the kids didn't look up to you when you were here before, what makes you think they're going to look up to you now?
Well, because I'm different. I'm older. I was afraid to go out for baseball when I was here, but I played in the service and played real good. I can't miss making the team here. I'm going to be somebody this time around, Mr. Dixon. You just watch me.
Now, usually when I substitute in a class, I play it very open and honest. In class, I say, I don't know any more about this subject than you do. So let's get out our books and learn together. And you know what usually happens?
What?
They walk all over me. No, it's terrible. But this time, in home economics, I decided to try something new. I pretended I knew all about cooking. And it worked. They really thought I could cook.
Really? What'd your class make?
Oh, this fantastic banana skin pie.
Banana skin?
Sure. Don't you know all the vitamins are in the skin?
Isn't that something? And I've been throwing them away all my life, like a fool.
You know, you've been eating lunch in your office so much that I've forgotten what you look like.
Well, feast your eyes. It's the only feast you're going to get in this place.
Oh, I've been meaning to ask you. What do you know about Monty Harris?
The kid that used to be in the Marines? Not much. Why? Something wrong?
Well, he's got this idea that he's going to be an important man around Whitman. That he was a nobody when he was here before, but this year is going to be different.
Well, I've had a few of those fantasies myself. You know, if I could see her again with what I know now, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think we do.
I don't.
Well, at least you didn't try to act your fantasies out, you know, make them come true. I have a feeling that's what Monty's trying to do.
They could be in for a big disappointment.
Hey, Captain.
It was Corporal.
That's okay. I talked to enlisted men, too. Sit down. Ah, the Daily Summit Conference.
They're the big deals, huh?
They think so.
That's funny. When I was here before, they used to group around over there, too.
Yes. From semesters immemorial, Whitman aristocracy have rallied round the sundial. Well, it's the perfect spot, really. Distant yet conspicuous. One can only stare and wonder at the awesome wit, the lofty dialogues taking place right now and in the past. If that sundial had ears and could but speak.
You sound jealous.
No, sir, Corporal. Maybe you're jealous. I'm reading.
Well, look, I seen this out-of-sight poster. I mean, it is out of sight. You just gotta see it.
Well, how far is the bookstore?
Just about 2 blocks. Oh, come on, we got time.
Hi. What's happening?
Not too much.
Well, I don't know many people yet. The guys that I knew all graduated.
Oh, yeah, you spent all that time in the Marines, right?
Yeah, I'm Monty Harris.
Rudy and Paul. I'm Ed.
I'm Suzanne Kovac.
I know.
How's it feel being back in school, Monty?
Groovy.
Oh, yeah, groovy. Well, look, Monty, we were just going someplace. We'll see you later, huh?
Mind if I come along?
I'm sorry, it's impossible.
How come?
Well, that's a military secret. Right, guys? Yeah. We'll see ya.
Can I talk to you a minute?
Sure, I'll catch up.
What did I say wrong?
Oh, don't mind them. They pick up on anything. Groovy isn't used much anymore. I mean, not around here.
I see. Hey, where do you all hang out? I'd sure like to get back in the swing of things.
No place in particular.
Then maybe I could take you out sometime to a movie or something.
Oh, well, I don't think so.
Well, why not? You going with somebody?
Hey, Susie, you coming?
Be right there. Look, I don't think so.
Why? You think these guys are any better than me?
I just don't want to go out with you, okay? You really are pushy, you know that?
Groovy. Gee, superb.
That guy's a drag. He really is.
That's right, Jerry. The United States Congress did vote against the League of Nations.
But wasn't the League of Nations our idea?
Yes, it was. And it was a big defeat for President Wilson. Now, in what way do you think history might have changed if the United States had become a member of the League of Nations? Monty?
You got me, sir.
Ed?
Well, maybe Hitler wouldn't have started the Second World War.
It's a possibility. Or he could have been stopped after he militarized the Rhineland. Yeah, there'll be a surprise test tomorrow, so you'd better crack some books tonight. Monty, can I see you a minute?
Yes, sir.
You've been kind of quiet lately. Is anything wrong?
No, sir, I don't think so. Actually, I think I've just been changing my tactics.
Oh.
Yeah, I was coming on pretty strong and putting everybody uptight, so I thought I'd just cool it. You know, take things a little easier.
Well, glad to hear it.
Don't worry, sir. Everything will be all right. But thank you for asking.
Hey, here we come.
Hey, Monty.
Listen, would you do us a big favor?
Sure, what is it?
Well, the guys and I have been talking, about the draft. And one of these days we're going to get called up. At least some of us.
So?
Well, we figured since you've been in already, you could give us some pointers.
Pointers, huh?
Yeah, like what to expect and all that.
Well, gee, I really don't know where to begin.
Well, Monty, why'd you join up in the first place? What a question. He doesn't like to see the little guy shoved around, right, Monty?
Well, to tell you the truth,
Hey, Monty, you think the Marines could make a man out of him?
Who wants to be a man? I like being a boy.
But boys don't get to wear uniforms, right? And go to Japan and...
Okay, that's enough.
Japan? Now that must have been groovy.
Yeah, real groovy.
I said that's enough.
Monty, Mr. Kaufman wants to see you right away.
In a minute.
No kidding, come on. Monty,
What does Kaufman want?
well, the thing is,
The thing is what?
he doesn't want to see you.
What is this?
Well, I saw what those creeps were doing, and I had to get you away from them.
You don't have to protect me.
I wasn't protecting you. I was protecting them. You were going to hit Ed.
Look, I know you're trying to help, but from now on, would you mind your own business?
I'm sorry, Monty. But you can't twist yourself out of shape trying to make people respect you. You can't force them to think that you're important.
That's what you think.
Yes, sir, Corporal, sir.
Right away.
Come on, Ed, that's 5 straight strikes. Dig in there and get a piece of it.
Wow, that new guy can really pitch. Yeah. Won't Mr. Kaufman be excited? You know, Whitman's needed a strong fireballing right-hander with pinpoint control for a long time. He's smart, too. Now, notice the way he moves the ball around the corner of the plate. He keeps him off balance. Just when they're expecting a fastball, letter high, he throws him a change-up low and away.
Alice Johnson, you've been holding out on me. You've been married to Sandy Koufax all this time, and you didn't tell anybody?
No. Actually, it's my dad. He's a baseball nut. He used to take me to baseball games before I could even walk. Yeah, the first present he ever gave me was a rattle shaped like a bat. Oh. Hey, Liz, do you think...
What?
That he might have wanted a boy?
Oh, no, I don't think so. No.
I'm not so sure. He still calls me Lefty.
Alice, I'm sure you didn't care whether you were a boy or a girl.
Are you?
Just as long as you could hit.
Okay, that's enough. Who's next? You, get up there.
Come on, you guys are swinging like rusty gates. Harris, how's the arm?
Swell. I've been working out.
Okay, we don't want you to hurt yourself. Just pitch to one more batter.
Hi.
Hi. Hello.
How we doing? Any new prospects?
Yeah, the kid on the mound. You better sign him fast, Mr. Kaufman, before Webster hears about him.
Really?
If Alice Johnson says he's good, he is good. Do you know him, Mr. Kaufman?
Yes, I do.
Well, that's Monty Harris. That's the ex-Marine I was telling you about.
Ex-Marine?
Yeah, the one who wanted to be noticed so badly.
Well, looks like he's gonna get his wish.
Pete, did you say ex-Marine?
Sure.
Well, how old is he?
Okay, let's call it a day. Fellas, 3 laps around the field and then into the showers. Hey, Harris. Hey, you're quite a pitcher.
Thank you, sir.
Listen, we can use you around here. Take your laps around the field and I'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks, Coach.
And Harris, take care of that arm of yours.
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Okay, Monty. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, Monty,
Oh, hi, Mr. Dixon.
can I talk to you a minute?
I gotta take my laps.
Monty, you can't play baseball.
What did you say?
I said you're ineligible to play baseball here at Whitman.
Not eligible? What do you mean? You saw me out there. The coach said...
It's a matter of athletic regulations. 18 is the top age for high school athletics, unless a kid turns 19 after the season starts.
But my birthday was just a couple of months ago. This is crazy.
I know you're disappointed, but you are ineligible and there's nothing we can do about it.
Well, there's gotta be. It isn't fair.
It may not be what you want, but it is fair. You know that.
I don't know that. You don't know that either. You know how much I've looked forward to coming back and making this team and being somebody that people can look up to? When I was in the service, I dreamed about coming back to Whitman and making up for the years that I was a nobody. For the first time in my life, I'm getting something I want. And you telling me I can't have it?
That's right. Like a lot of people can't have what they want. Monty, when you were in high school, you wanted to be a big shot, right? And you didn't make it. So you thought you'd give it a second try, only this time with an edge.
What do you mean?
You're older, more experienced, a lot stronger than any of the kids here. Monty, you're a man. Now, don't you think it's about time you started acting like one? Yesterday is gone forever. You got a whole new life ahead of you. A lot of new challenges. Who knows, you might find out that being a big shot is not so important after all.
He's right, Monty. Don't you think you ought to grow up?
Look, leave me alone, will you?
All right, Monty, but first, I want to tell you something. You've been so busy trying to make the whole world think you're so darn important that you've turned your back on the one person around here who really does think that you're important. Me, Valerie Henderson. And if that's not good enough for you, well, then why don't you just re-enlist or re-up or whatever they call it? Or at least go take a shower and drown yourself.
Well, Monty, if leaving Whitman is what you want, I guess you know what you're doing.
Yes, sir, I do.
You think you ought to, think about it a little longer?
It wouldn't change anything.
Are you, quitting because you can't play baseball?
Yeah, in a way. See, it's like Mr. Dixon said. I came back here trying to relive yesterday. Well, yesterday's gone forever. I don't belong here anymore. I've got today and tomorrow to think about. Anyway, that's why I'm quitting.
No, I can certainly understand why you feel you have to, leave Whitman, but
I'd like to see you continue your education someplace else, like adult night extension courses.
Oh, I've already enrolled.
Oh, you have?
Sure. Now I'll be going to school with kids my own age.
And older. You know, some of those kids are considerably older.
Well, good, I'm pleased.
Thank you, sir. And thank you, Mr. Dixon.
Bugsy, come back visit us sometime.
I will.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You really think it's impossible to recapture the past?
Well, that depends on what you're trying to recapture. Why?
Well, you know, when I was in college, I was a pretty fair long-distance runner. Not great, but steady, you know. And lately, ever since I've been jogging with Ken Dragan every morning, a lot of my stamina has come back. Now, over in West Baldwin next month, they're holding a cross-country race. Now, wait a minute. Now, in just a minute, it's a cross-country race. I just thought... Will you just let me explain? I don't expect to win it, but last year a man 5 years older than me finished the race. He... I don't think so. I don't think so either.
Come on, hustle. All right. Okay. Come on now, let's go.
Yep, the team is really rounding into shape. Boy, it's amazing what a couple of weeks of hard practice can do.
Do you think we have a chance at the division championship?
Well, it all depends on, one, whether we can come up with a consistent left-hander, and two, whether our speed will make up for our lack of power.
We're not too powerful, huh?
Not enough long ball hitters, Liz.
Guess we'll have to play a lot of hit and run, huh?
Right, Pete. Bunt, steal, hit behind the runner. You know, the kind of club that makes its own breaks.
I don't agree, Miss Johnson. Ed Waters and Juan Fernandez both hit the long ball. And once Jerry Martin learns to wait for his pitch, he'll be able to give the ball a good ride also. Oh, excuse me, I'm meeting somebody.
Valerie, where... I was going to ask her where she learned so much about baseball.
Come on, Ed! You can do better than that! Come on, relax those shoulders. Give it a nice level cut. Come on, you can do it! Be a hitter up there, Ed, boy! Be a hitter! Be a hitter! Gosh, you just can't relax.
It out already. I've been here an hour.
Young man, this office has only been open 22 minutes. After you complete the yellow cards, take a pink and a blue one from these boxes over here. Fill those out and return them to me with your yellow card.
Pardon me, miss. I'm Tom Gianelli.
Yes. Oh, yes. Mr. Kaufman told me you'd be here this morning. Did you bring your transfer papers, Tom?
Mm-hmm. Right here.
Well, I'll just fill these out for you.
What is that? How does he rage?
Is there a water fountain around here, miss?
Yeah, it's right over there.
Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you, miss.
You're welcome, Tom.
Thank you.
You made the coffee this morning, Miss Johnson?
Right. Anything wrong?
Oh, no, it's just fine. Anyhow, getting back to Gianelli. Before we get too excited, let's remember the old thing. It's not whether you win or lose, it's how you play the game that counts.
Oh, you don't really believe that, do you?
I believe it, but I'm so tired of it. We always play badly and lose well. I'm so glad our luck has changed I could go out for cheerleader.
Terrific. You want some more coffee?
No, thank you.
Oh, hi, Liz.
Hi. Have you spoken to Tom Gianelli yet?
Yep.
You made the coffee this morning, Alice?
So how come everybody knows?
Oh, what did you think?
Well, I can see why he's a high school legend. He's absolutely charming, but he...
165 pounds of pure glory for Walt Whitman High, and all you can say is charming?
That's not all she said. She also said but. But what?
But he has a C average.
Since when is a C average a problem?
Since we first realized that Van Buren is about a year and a half behind us academically. I mean, 2 A students transferred from Van Buren, and they could barely make C's here.
We have a problem.
Well, maybe not so bad. Let's see what happens when I test him.
You see, some of the events leading up to the American Revolution were more interesting than the revolution itself. So I want you to examine certain phrases, names, places, political slogans, etc.
Sorry about that.
What comes to mind when you hear the names Lexington and Concord?
One if by land and two if by sea.
No taxation without representation.
The Boston Massacre.
Good. Does anybody know what the Boston Massacre was?
Yeah, it was a bummer. New York 35, Boston 0.
Very funny, Tom. Now, would you like to try and answer the question? Tom, you read chapters 8 through 11 so you can catch up. The rest of you read chapter 11. Helen, would you pass back last week's quiz? Oh, Helen, are you there?
Oh, yeah, sure.
When I, sitting, heard the astronomer where he lectured with much applause in the lecture room, how soon, unaccountable, I became tired and sick. Till rising and gliding out, I wandered off by myself in the mystical moist night air, and from time to time looked up in perfect silence at the stars. Now, what was the poet trying to say?
Sounds like he was trying to say he was sick and tired of lectures.
I think he was trying to say a little more than that. Tom, did you get anything out of it?
I'm afraid not, Miss Johnson. Poetry is not exactly my thing.
Well, okay. Helen.
Well, I think the poet was trying to say that there's more to the stars and the skies than mathematics and astronomical charts. There are things that can't be measured. Beauty and mysticism. And romance.
You're very good, Helen. Does anyone know who wrote the poem? Oh, you're gonna hate yourselves when you find out. Bernie?
The man our school was named after, Walt Whitman.
Right.
Since when you started knowing about poetry, man?
I don't know anything about poetry, but I do know what's inscribed over the water fountain in the main hall.
Okay, class dismissed.
Hey, you're not only pretty, you're smart.
Thank you.
Helen, could I see you a minute?
Oh, sure.
You have a lot of classes with Tom Gianelli, don't you? Mm-hmm. Well, you see, I had this thought. You know, this is a much tougher school academically than the one Tom came from. And I was thinking that a good student like you could really make a terrific contribution to the football team by, well, sort of encouraging him and inspiring him and
Helping him.
if you really want to.
Tom, did you have any trouble with the math assignment?
Nope, no trouble. I didn't have time to do it.
Here, I had time.
Wow. Thanks, Helen.
Has anybody seen Liz?
She's testing Tom Janelli.
Oh, how's he doing in your class?
Not bad. How about yours?
Not bad.
How about his other classes, Mr. Kaufman?
Well, I'm delighted to report, not bad. Not great, but not bad.
Hi, gang.
Skip the preliminaries. How'd our boy test?
I'm sorry, those scores are confidential to be used for counseling and other legitimate purposes.
Oh, Liz, what a time to get hard-nosed.
He's in the upper 10 percentile.
You're kidding.
Liz, I'm warning you, if you're putting us on...
His IQ is over 135.
The boy is brilliant. What were we worried about?
That he wouldn't be able to keep up with the work?
Well, we don't have to worry about that anymore, do we?
Don't we?
What do you mean, don't we? You heard what she just said. The boy has a very good brain.
That has obviously been going to waste because he never had to use it.
He's right. An IQ of 135 does not jive with his grade average, Mr. Kaufman.
Oh, now, come on, you two. I've got a cup that's half full. You two see it as half empty.
We're only doing our job.
Gloom mongers.
Congratulations, Helen. I got an A.
You know, when one of you gets a D or an F, it means that I failed. I failed to get you to think about history. So in a way, your grades are my grades. Bernie?
Mr. Dixon, would you please explain to my father how come you got a D on this test?
Oh, Helen. Can I see you a minute?
I'll wait.
Are you satisfied with the C on that paper? You know it wasn't up to your usual standards.
I know it was too short, Mr. Dixon. I, didn't have time to do more.
Okay. Work on it some more tonight, and I'll reconsider the grade, okay?
Oh, thank you.
Tom, can I see you a minute?
Catch you later.
Where's the research assignment I gave you?
Well, you said there wasn't any rush doing it, so I'm doing it carefully.
Good. About finished?
Pretty soon.
I want it tomorrow.
I'm not sure I could have it finished by tomorrow.
You've had 2 weeks.
I know, Mr. Dixon, but they kept me pretty busy on that field. You used to play football, didn't you?
Yes.
Oh, then I guess you know how it is.
Make it short, Tom, but make it your own. Tom, do your best and you'll make it in this class.
Gotcha, Mr. Dixon.
Make it hurt! Go! Come on, you guys, look sharp. We got a game to win on Saturday. Now, come on, let's work. Get him up. Keep him hard. Right. Come on, stop those guys. Come on. There we go. Bang. 1, 2.
Nice pass, Tom.
Thanks, Mr. Dixon. Did you get my paper yet?
Yes, I did.
You know, I really had to work on that one. I had to type it 3 times before it was even neat enough to hand in.
Very well typed.
Every word of it was mine, too. So what'd you grade me on it?
F.
F. And now we're typing it.
But, Tom, I wasn't giving grades on good typing.
Hey, Frank, throw a few, okay?
Tom, all you did was reproduce what was in the book. Oh, you were smart enough to change the words, but you didn't bother to challenge the concepts, the viewpoints, or give any real thinking to the material.
Okay, that's a reason for giving me a C, maybe. Or even a D. But an F.
Tom, if I really thought that was the best you could do, I would have given you a B or a C.
Man, I really tried. I did my best. I did.
No, Tom, you didn't do anywhere near your best. I doubt if you ever have, except on a football field.
What did I do? I thought you liked me.
Oh, I like you. Everybody likes you. You're a real winner, Tom, but it's costing you. And you know, I have a feeling that your whole life has been one long free ride.
What's wrong with that?
Free rides don't take you very far. Sooner or later, you're going to have to pay your dues. Tom, you've got a brain, and I'm going to insist that you start using it.
Pete. Hi. Pete. One day to turn in an assignment, then you give the kid an F? What are you trying to do to me? There aren't that many Tom Gianellis in a principal's life.
I'm afraid the story lost something in the translation. You see, Tom had that assignment 2 weeks before I gave him the 1 day's notice.
Oh. In that case, what's that kid trying to do to me?
The question is, what's he trying to do to himself?
Hi.
Hi.
Oh, why so funny, Mr. Kaufman?
Jitters, that's all. Routine, pre-game jitters. Oh, how's Tom Gianelli doing in your class?
Great.
Well, that's good.
What about Helen?
Oh, she's a big help to him.
I know. That's what I'm concerned about.
Well, what's wrong with Helen helping Tom? I mean, you want us to have a winning team this season, don't you?
Oh, sure. But I've got a question.
What?
Why are we here? I mean, to produce winning teams or to help young people realize their full academic potential?
Not too crazy about that question.
Well, can't we do both?
I don't think we can in Tom's case. You see, he may be a star in high school, but there's no guarantee he's going to make it as a professional. And even if he does, a professional player's career only lasts until he's about 35, and then he's through. I knew a guy in college once, and we had a name for him. It's just like Tom. We called him America's Guest.
America's Guest?
Yeah, a guy who makes it through life being charming, a freeloader.
Now, Tom isn't a freeloader.
Not yet, he isn't. But what happens to a guy when he gets used to having everything done for him? Let's face it, are we really helping Tom Gianelli? Tomorrow we'll have a midterm oral exam covering everything that we've studied so far.
How much is going to count on our grade?
A lot, Jason, a lot.
How come an oral quiz, Mr. Dixon?
Well, an oral quiz gives me a better feedback on how much I've gotten through to each of you. And each of you will be on your own. Now, if anybody thinks that this quiz is designed to ambush you personally, well, you're wrong. Any questions?
Yeah.
Pam.
Mr. Dixon, will suicide get you out of it?
Only if you bring in a note from your parents.
Hi, Miss McIntyre.
Hello.
Mr. Dixon.
Tom?
Yeah, I've been thinking about our little talk. You're absolutely right. I didn't give that report my best. I'll do another one, okay?
Nope.
What do you mean?
I mean, I have a lot of things to do myself, and I don't have time to read another report. The oral quiz will be enough.
Pete, you know that friend you had in college?
Yeah?
The one you called America's Guest? How'd he end up?
Badly. Very badly.
Hey, what's the matter?
Oh, Dixon is really out to get me. He won't let me write another report.
Oh. Tom, you never did ask me, you know.
Ask you what?
To write another report for you. You just assumed it.
Well, wouldn't you?
Yes. But suppose Mr. Dixon said okay, and I said no. I mean, I wouldn't, and you know I couldn't. But someone might.
Well, Dixon just did.
Okay, then learn from it. Listen, you don't need people to say yes to you all the time to get by.
All right, suppose I told you I'm going to read that book cover to cover tonight, and I want you to quiz me at the end of every chapter. What would you say?
Yes.
All right.
Before we begin, I want to mention a couple of things that I expect from you during this oral quiz. And some I don't expect. I don't expect polished oratory, but what I do want from you is evidence that you've thought about the material. So just relax and approach it as though you and I were discussing a subject that interested the both of us. Jason, the Declaration of Independence is considered one of the world's great documents. Why is that so?
Well, it gave the colonies real arguments for splitting up with England, and it gave them real clear.
And that's what you think is most interesting?
Oh, yeah. Me and my friends sit around all the time talking about the old Declaration of Independence.
Okay, sit down. Helen, let's chat about the Stamp Act.
Well, it was one of the first colonial grievances that led to the revolution. But you know, the thing that's interesting is that if you read the American protest against it, you get really angry at British tyranny and all that. But then, if you read their arguments for having a stamp tax, they seem very reasonable.
And what does that lead you to believe?
Well, that there are two sides to every question. And that in a war, each side believes it's the only right side.
Very good, Helen. Tom, what do you think about the two Adams cousins?
John and Sam?
Those are the ones.
Well, John got to be president, and Sam didn't. Some of the history books say that Sam Adams. Mr. Dixon, can I sit down when I talk?
Go ahead.
Right, some of the history books say that Sam Adams was supposed to be a real rabble-rouser, and he was always jiving the people of Boston, trying to get them to do what he wanted. And John was supposed to be a Boy Scout, very noble. But if Sam was always conning the people for some private trip of his own, I don't see what good it did him. Sam wasn't the one who got to be president. But the same books make a big hero out of John, who became the defense attorney for the British soldiers who did the shooting at the Boston Massacre. Maybe it was noble, because it was sure unpopular with the people of Boston. It was very popular with the Royalists, British soldiers, because they were running things. John became a big man in the colonies after that. See, the thing is, even if the two cousins had different personalities, there wasn't really any difference in the way things worked out.
Well, of course, I'm pleased that we have a winning football team. But I tell you what pleases me even more. The fact that a boy like Tom Gianelli can make it as a student, all on his own, and still have time for football. I mean, after all, we're not in the business of turning out winning football teams, are we? We're here to help young people realize their full potential. I mean, that's what I'm always trying to impress on Mr. Dixon here, right, Pete? Right.
right, now tell me this. We talked about the anti-settlement law earlier in the term when we were into the Texas Revolution. Does that relate to what we're talking about now?
Yes, that's it exactly. The majority didn't agree with the rulers, and they were justified.
Bernie, what do you think?
Oh, I think I don't remember what the anti-settlement law was.
Larry.
It was a law disputed in 1830 when the Mexican government tried to stop more settlement, and the Texans wouldn't stop. Led to a whole lot of fighting.
Did they have the right to refuse? After all, it was a law.
Yeah, that's right. It was a law.
Well, so what? It was a bad law.
Oh, so you think if a law is bad, you can disobey it, huh?
Right.
Hey, man, wake up.
Mr. Dixon?
Charlie.
They didn't think, they knew. The Texans proved it.
Sure did. They won the revolution, didn't they?
You're a little late, aren't you, Jason?
That's what I kept telling Mr. Casey, but he didn't pay no attention.
Well, if you had to go to the vice principal's office, must have been some reason.
Yeah, he thought it was one.
Okay, where were we?
Deep in the heart of Texas.
Oh, Pam, you said that the early settlers proved that it was a bad law by winning. Does that mean that if they had lost, it would have been a good law? Oh, thank you. Charlie, Mr. Casey wants to see you.
Right now?
That's what it says. Larry, you had your hand up? Larry.
I forgot what I was gonna say.
Okay, we'll continue this discussion tomorrow.
I'm sorry I was late today, Mr. Dixon.
Well, I have to admit you did spend a long time at Mr. Casey's office. Can I help?
Yeah, you can help me catch a fiend. Somebody told Casey I was in a chemistry lab making perfume. Now I got 2 weeks detention.
Perfume in the chem lab?
Yes, it's this little chick, you know, and I've been making perfume for her, and it was a little accident.
Little accident?
It wasn't much of an explosion, and I cleaned it all up. But I didn't think anybody was around. But somebody told Casey.
Maybe Casey saw it happen.
No, it wasn't no one there. There's so much thinking going on in this school, man. You gotta wait in line for Casey to get at you.
The traffic in and out of his office is rather brisk.
Brisk ain't the word for it. It's congested. And when I find out who's responsible for this, I'm gonna pop some fink upside his head.
Suppose you hit the wrong guy by mistake. Jason, you may find out that revenge is not as sweet as you think it is. Take it easy, okay? Arnie?
I'm sorry, Mr. Dixon.
What's the matter?
Well, I'm working nights. See, I got into some trouble and I'm trying to make it up.
What kind of trouble?
Well, I had to finish my biology project and I'm trying to do a real good job. So I borrowed a microscope from the lab.
Oh, boy.
I was gonna bring it right back. It was stolen from my car. Well, I got a job right away. And only one more week and I'll have all the money to pay it back.
Has anybody missed it yet?
No. It's kept in a special case. Only advanced students are allowed to use it. Please don't tell Mr. Casey. I've got a scholarship hanging on my grades, Mr. Dixon.
I know. One more week.
That's it. And believe me, I've learned my lesson.
I hope you have.
Now, you said you saw the suspect hanging around the hall outside the chemistry lab at the time in question, right?
Right. But I was at the end of the hall.
Nevertheless, you said he was a male Caucasian about the age of 16, right?
Right. And he was wearing a red shirt.
Hey, Bernie got a red shirt.
Well, so do you, man.
Well, I ain't no male Caucasian, brother, or haven't you noticed?
Some people will use anything for an alibi.
Oh, it wasn't Bernie. This boy had hair like... hair.
So what have I got?
Never mind, man. We got business to take care of.
Hey, everybody.
Everybody got it already.
What's that in the bed?
Got 5 noses, 3 eyes, 6 hairdos, and 2 mouths.
What about the ears?
Oh, I knew I forgot something.
Never mind. Hey, dig. Now, this is what it's called our dinner kit. All we do is put the spare parts together till we make up Helen's suspect. Okay, here's copies of our guide. Find them.
Poor guy.
Find them.
Okay.
Find them.
Hey, Jason.
What's happening, Victor?
Hey, I sure dug the way you played in that basketball game last week.
Thanks, man.
Hey, you want to get some lunch or something?
Oh, man, I got some business to take care of. I'll see you later.
Hey, Arnie. Yeah, that was a great report you did in Miss Johnson's class. Oh, yeah? Thanks. Hey, I was just going to get some ice cream. Do you want some? Oh, yeah. Thanks. Save it, man. I got it.
Casey, Mr. Walker. Hey? Casey, what's going on? The traffic between my class and your office is starting to look like a freeway.
Well, maybe you ought to keep a closer eye on your class.
It's not that easy. You got them coming and going so fast, I may need a revolving door.
Something I ought to know about? Oh, no. Nothing I can't handle. Pete, let's have lunch.
I can't. I got something to do. I'll see you later.
Okay, but I do want to see your first free period, okay?
Okay.
Excuse me. Arnie? I want to see you.
Casey is strict, yes. Hard-nosed, okay. But I don't know about unfair, Alice.
Well, he's unfair to me.
Why?
Because I'm going to have the best disciplined bunch of failing students in this school. He keeps interrupting my classwork, pulling them out of class.
Now that's unfair.
Yeah. What's this? Mutton and aspic, I think.
How can you tell?
Liz McIntyre, some of this happens to be very good food.
Yeah, well, which is and which ain't?
Alice, is this the first time you substituted in home ec?
Well, yes, but I think I'm developing quite a little talent for it.
Well, maybe we can have lunch again when you're sure.
Thank you, Mr. Dixon. Thank you very much.
Arnie, what's the matter?
Mr. Casey knows all about the microscope. I'm on probation, and it'll probably go on my record. You're the only one I told.
Arnie, I never said a word.
I trusted you, Mr. Dixon, and you turned me in.
Pete? You just drove past your stop. Don't we have an appointment right now?
Oh, yeah, I know, but I gotta go see Casey about something important. Can I meet with you later?
You can meet with me later, but be a little gentle with him, will you, Pete? He's delicate.
Don't worry. I only plan to ask him a few questions.
I know about Arnie. Have you tried talking to the kid first?
Yeah, but it didn't do any good. Now I want to find out from Casey where he's been getting his information.
You think he's going to tell you?
I don't know, but I'm sure going to try and find out.
Pete, if Casey's out of line, that's my concern. I'll handle it.
The trust of those kids is my concern.
Pete, I'll handle it. Come on. Let's keep our appointment.
Why do I get the feeling that you know everything that goes on in this school?
Because I do.
Man, if you knew what you was talking about, you wouldn't know what you was talking about.
I'm telling you, everybody knows. And I'm telling you got the wrong cat. Mr. Dixon don't need to be sneaking around.
No. Doesn't everyone say we don't trust anyone over 30? Well, he's a teacher over 30, isn't he? Oh, no. Look, that might sound right, but I can't go for that.
Here's Arnie. He'll tell you. Hey, these kids been spreading the word that Mr. Dixon turned you in. Tell him the truth, man.
He did turn me in.
Okay, break it up. Everybody take a seat. Yesterday when the bell rang, we were discussing laws. Do you ever think that there's a legitimate reason to disobey a law? Nancy. Didn't you start to say something yesterday?
I've been thinking a lot about what we said, and it really connects with what's happening now. It's relevant, you know.
Is it? How, Charlie? Thanks, Jason, but I'd like to hear from someone else. John? Emmeline? Arnie?
First, we sprinkle in a little of this spray powder.
Ooh, what's it smell?
That's adiposes. It's been in everything in the chemistry lab. Oh, Helen, you better be getting in your place now.
Okay, good luck.
Cool. Be cool.
Who you got for suspects?
I got it narrowed down to Charlie, Sam, and Arnie.
Arnie? But wasn't he one of the victims?
You know a better way to get the suspicion off yourself? Now, that Charlie always wearing dark glasses. What's that supposed to mean?
I don't know.
Now, if you ask me, that Sam is really the one to watch, man.
How come?
Because he looked guilty all the time.
Well, maybe he's just scared because you keep following him around all day.
Never mind that, man. Let's get set up, okay?
Okay. Now that the oven's lit and the suspects are deployed outside, then what?
Then when you set this oven off, man, pow!
Wait a minute, why do I set it off and off?
Because you're the right type.
What makes me the right type?
Because you're smaller than me. Anyway, it's about time. Good luck, man, good luck.
Good luck.
Hey, Jason. Hey, what are you doing? Will you wait till they get here? They're coming, man. They're coming now. They're coming. Oh.
Oh, no! Jason and Bernie fighting! Jason and Bernie are fighting!
Bernie, you overdoing it.
Who's overdoing it? You're killing me.
Oh, look, it's Larry! Boy, is he gonna get in trouble. Let's get out of here.
That was beautiful, man.
I thought you said nothing would happen.
Nothing did. The oven's fine.
Well, my eyebrows aren't. They're gone.
You're right, man. One of them made a beeline for Casey's office.
Did you get there in time to see who it was?
I sure did, and it wasn't one of your suspects.
Hey, Victor.
Oh, hi, Jason. Can I get you something?
You already did, man. 2 weeks detention.
What are you talking about?
Oh, you know as well as I do, man, what I'm talking about.
Don't. What's the matter with you?
Don't jive, man. I want to know why.
Jason, I'm sorry.
Man, you some kind of a weird two-timing dude. Go around buying people everything you see in sight, letting your light shine all over the place. But the first chance you get, you break to the vice principal office, and you sell out. And I want to know why you do this, man.
Well, Jason, see, I like you, and I wanted you to like me. Ever since I came to school, I've been trying to make friends, but it's hard for me. I'm just not like you.
You still haven't answered my question, man. Why'd you think to Casey?
Well, I got in trouble, just like you did. Casey said he'd let me off if I'd help him out. I didn't want to do it. He made me do it, Jason. He hired me.
Casey hired him?
That's what he said.
Excuse me.
She needs help, not punishment. Her home life is in a mess. Why don't you let me talk to her?
All right, if you want to give it a try, I'll hold off. Is that the last of them?
That's it.
Casey, I want to talk to you.
Well, you seem to be upset, Mr.
Did you hire Victor O'Brien as an informer?
No, I did not.
He said you did.
Get Victor O'Brien in here, please. Well, you went for it again, didn't you, Dixon? These kids can tell you anything, you'll believe it.
You didn't answer my question. Have you been using him as an informer?
In a manner of speaking, yes. But I never hired anyone. When a boy comes to me with information, if it'll help keep order in this school, I use it.
You may keep order, but what about his character and self-esteem?
You don't sit in this office, Pete. I've got a job to do and judgments to make. I got to worry about kids parking illegally and other kids pushing speed. No, I don't need or care for informers about parking. But if I can save a kid from an overdose of narcotics or a pregnant girl from committing suicide, I'll take that kind of information from anyone. Now, would you rather I didn't?
I'd rather you found another way.
Like what?
I don't know, but there's got to be some kind of way to be able to... Come in.
Victor, did I ever hire you or force you to tell me anything? Well, did I?
No, Mr. Casey.
Satisfied? All right, Victor, you can go now.
All right, he lied. But they all don't lie. Some would like to tell the truth if there was an atmosphere of trust which your methods prevent.
Dixon, will you never learn? There's a whole world.
Stop it! Look, neither of you is going to be convinced. If a life's at stake, sure, you have to do anything to save it. But at the same time, you can't go around turning students against each other. You can't make them live with the suspicion that any and everything they do is going to be reported. Discipline is fine, but not as a tool to destroy trust.
Excuse me, but it looks like there's going to be trouble. You better come quick.
So what's it gonna be?
Man, that's what you call touch and go.
If anybody touched me, I've been gone.
Jason, how come you did that?
Something Mr. Dixon said.
What?
He said you gotta figure out why some people do something. And I think I figured you out, man.
Yeah, well, Jason, I lied to you, too.
I know you did.
You do? Well, how?
I got you all figured out in my head.
Yeah, then why wouldn't...
To make me feel good, man. See, I'm the cat that really figured out it was you. And I don't want to be responsible for you getting leaned on when I'm not around to watch out for you.
Don't know what to say.
Yeah, well, I do. You know, those guys are in there, and they're going to come after us. Can we please go? Thank you very much.
Long day, huh? Not that long.
Mr. Dixon, I just paid off the microscope. $72.90. I'm still on probation, but it's not going on my record.
That's great, Arnie. Arnie, do me a favor, will you? From now on, do your biology projects in the lab.
You bet.
See you.
Hey, Arnie.
Yeah?
Hey, I just wanted to tell you that, I'm sorry for what I did. If there was any way I could make it up to you, I would.
Okay, forget it.
Hey, you want to go get something to eat? Come on, I'll buy. That is, do you want to go get a pizza with me?
Yeah, I'm kind of hungry myself.
You know, it's been a long day, but it's been a good day.
Yeah, I feel better, too. Are you hungry?
Now that you mention it, you buying?
Who, me? No.
That's what I like about you, Pete. You're so secure.
See ya, Harry.
morning.
Hi, Peter. Excuse me. I'm glad I caught you before you went to your first class.
So am I. Let's grab a cup of coffee.
We don't have time.
What do you mean we don't have time? 20 minutes before school starts.
Yes, but our meeting with Mr. Kaufman starts right now.
Meeting? What meeting?
The meeting Mr. Kaufman and I decided we should have with you this morning before your new student gets here.
I can't fit another student into my homeroom.
I know.
I've got kids in there now that need my individual attention, and I can't give it to them because I don't have time. You know, I get the feeling that I've made this speech before.
You did. Last week this time.
When we asked you to sponsor the debate club.
Then why?
Pete, because everyone's classes are overcrowded. I get this same speech from all of my teachers, the ones that care.
But this student is very special, and we thought he should be in your class.
Why is he special?
Because his coming here is part of an experimental program being sponsored by an organization called Opportunity for Youth.
The program's designed to help kids who are advanced but are held back by their circumstances.
I guess you might say Billy Sosi is the test case.
Billy
Sosi.
Sosi.
Billy is a Navajo Indian from a reservation in Utah. There's a family in our school district that's sponsoring him. Now, from all the reports I've read, he's overcome a lot of obstacles, and he's really an exceptional student.
Pete, I've got great hopes for this program. I know if it works here, other schools will pick it up.
That's why we put him in your class.
Okay, what were some of the other problems the settlers encountered moving west? Frank?
Yeah, well, most of those dudes were from the city and couldn't take that long, hard trip. And a lot of them died on the way. So you might say death was a problem.
Well, yeah. Sometimes the kids lost their parents on the way and had to do the best they could on their own.
True. Oh, man. If you fellas have something to add to the discussion, why don't you share it with the rest of us?
Well, we were just agreeing on what Helen had to say.
What did Helen say?
Well, I really didn't hear that well, but I certainly do agree on all points.
Come on, man. We can't jive the cat. Mr. Dixon, what we was trying to do is straighten out something we heard this morning.
What's that, Jason?
Oh, we heard that it was going to be this new cat coming to the school, and he was a real Navajo Indian.
Yeah, he can give us the Indian side of all that stuff we've been studying.
Oh, I'm glad to see you guys looking forward to his joining the class.
Yeah, 'cause it ain't too cool learning about the frontier out of all those textbooks, and that Indian can tell us like it really was.
Excuse me, Mr. Dixon? Come on.
He's got better timing than the cavalry.
This is Billy Sosi. Billy, I'll see you later.
Come on in, Billy. We have a seat for you right behind Bernie there.
That's me.
Billy, we were discussing the period after 1865 and the push toward the West by the settlers. I hope that you'll have something to add to it.
Hey, yeah, tell us what you think about the settlers trying to civilize the Indians.
Yeah, what did you think about that?
Yeah, tell us the truth, man.
Wait a minute. Don't you think we ought to give Billy a little time to get settled first?
Billy, I know you like Whitman a lot. The kids are really friendly.
Say, we're going to save you a place at lunch, okay?
Yeah.
See you then.
Yeah, and if you have any problems, just let us know, okay?
Hey, man, where's your next class?
English, Miss Johnson.
Hey, man, that's my next class, too.
Oh, yeah?
Man, I'll show you where it's at. Come on.
Oh, Billy. Nice to have you with us.
Thanks.
Hey, Billy, over here.
Hey, man, have a seat. We've been saving you a place.
Yeah, man, jump on in, man.
How you doing? Kimasabi? Huh? Kimasabi is a Lone Ranger. I thought it was an Indian word.
It's not a Navajo word.
Well, it just goes to show you, never trust the Lone Ranger.
How are your classes, Billy?
Oh, they're okay, I guess. Except they're very far ahead of where I was at the reservation school.
Oh, yeah? What's the reservation school like?
Buck?
Hey, yeah, what did you major in? War paint?
It's just a school.
Why don't you speak a little Indian for us?
Say, man, why don't you get off it?
I'm only kidding.
Hey, Billy, where'd you get the silver belt?
My uncle made it.
Do you dress like that on the reservation?
Huh? Well, what she means is, nobody dresses like that unless they're on a reservation.
I did not mean that.
You want me to speak Indian? Yeah. The geese. Hey, what does that mean? It means you're crazy. Hey, wait a minute, I didn't mean anything. Hey, I was just joking.
Scott!
I can't help it if you can't take a joke.
Man, you wouldn't know a joke if it came up and hit you in your mouth.
Hey, Billy. I'm sorry for what I said at lunch today. I have a habit of saying stupid things, you know, just for a laugh.
Forget it. By the mid-1880s, the Indian wars had ceased, and most of the Indians were gathered on the reservation. Pam, the Dawes Act of 1887, how did it tie into this period of history?
Well, it said that every Indian was entitled to some land from the government. The head of a family could claim as much as 160 acres.
160 acres? They were rich.
Yeah, but the government didn't give the Indians the land. It just sort of let them use it.
You couldn't sell it or use it as security for a mortgage or anything.
But wasn't that supposed to protect the Indian from land speculators and other people who were trying to take advantage of them?
Let's hear it for Big Brother Sam.
Yeah, it's like the government gave the Indians their own private little reservations.
Billy, what do you think?
Huh?
I said the Dawes Act was designed to protect the Indian. Do you think it did that?
Sure. I mean, that's what the book says, isn't it?
Just giving a man a piece of land doesn't make him free. I mean, it was their land in the first place.
Then what was the purpose of the Dawes Act?
To Americanize the Indian.
How do you Americanize somebody who's already an American?
Yeah, they should have been Americanizing the pale face.
It's a very interesting point, Jason. Billy, do you think the Dawes Act helped or hurt the American Indian?
Hi there.
Hi.
Oh, either I said something wrong, which is kind of hard to do with just hi, or you just lost your best friend.
Not a friend, but I may have lost a student.
Who?
Billy Sosi.
Oh, no, Pete, what's wrong?
I'm not sure. I can't get him to respond in class. Oh, he answers all of my questions, but the answers are right out of a book. I know he has opinions, but he refuses to give them.
Don't tell me. You're talking about Billy Sosi, right?
Not you, too.
Can't get him to say much in my class either. And you know what else?
I'm afraid to ask.
I don't think he has any friends.
I've noticed that. You know, when he first came to this school, the kids couldn't wait to get at him. Now they hardly pay any attention to him at all. Except for Jason.
Jason?
Yeah, they're together all the time.
Well, then at least he has one friend.
Yeah.
Jason may be his friend, but as far as Billy is concerned, he's alone. See you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.
Jason, you go about 5, and then you go to the sideline, all right? Frank, you go 3 steps and turn around. I don't want to hear anything. Let's go. Hey, let's go.
Hey, man, wait a minute. You forgot to tell Billy where he goes.
So who cares?
Hey, man, tell him where to go.
Just go on.
Hey! calling you Soaring Eagle, the fastest redskin on the block.
That's not very funny.
Woo! Hey, circle the wagon. He's on the warpath.
Take that back.
Hey, man, what do you mean?
I said take that back.
Hey, man, what are you talking about? I didn't say nothing for you to get mad. Come on.
Hey, Chick.
Hey, man, what's wrong with you? Hey, man, what take that back with you? Come on, hey, man. Man. All right. Man, look. I don't want to. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on. Don't fight. Hey, man. Guess you could say it was my fault, Mr. Kaufman.
You hit him first.
Well, that's not exactly the way it went. But still, it was my fault. I said something to him that made him lose his cool. That's why he jumped on me.
I don't need your help. I started it, okay? And I don't need him or anyone else to take the blame.
Billy, Jason was just trying to be your friend.
He's always trying to help with everything. Show me to my classes. You take up for me in front of the other kids. You even tried to make me fit in with the others. Let me tell you something. I can take care of myself. I've done it all my life, and I can do it now.
Oh, Billy? Billy?
Just a minute. Why'd you do that to Jason? The only thing that he's guilty of is trying to be your friend.
He wasn't trying to be my friend. He's just like all the rest of them.
Now, what's that supposed to mean?
Well, the only reason he ever paid any attention to me, the only reason any of them ever paid any attention to me, is because I'm an Indian. A novelty. Well, I'm tired of being the Indian.
Wait a minute. You didn't give me a chance to say I was sorry yesterday.
Hey, were you going to a rain dance?
Come on, man. What are you trying to prove? Why you dress up like that?
What did you want me to wear? Everyone wants me to look like something out of a John Wayne movie. But I didn't want to disappoint them.
Man, you some kind of a weird dude. Everybody in this school try to be your friend, and all you do is get all bent out of shape.
I don't have any friends here.
You better believe it, man. It's because you won't let them. That's why.
What would you know about it? When has anybody ever stared at you because you were different? When has anybody ever not accepted you for what you are?
You're something else, man. You know that. Where do you think I come from, man? An ice cream factory? You want to know what it's like where I come from? What am I standing here talking to you for? If you can't recognize a brother, you're sure not going to be able to recognize a friend.
He says he wants to drop out of the program. He wants to go back to the reservation school.
Did you ask him why?
He wouldn't tell me. He just says he doesn't belong here.
What about that family he's living with? Have you spoken to them?
Yes, I did. They want to help. But it's like Billy's built a wall around himself.
Oh, there's got to be something we can do. This program is so important. I don't want to see it just go down the drain. Billy is one of a few test cases. He's... Will you listen to me? Test cases. You're not just a test case. He's a young boy. And he's given up.
Well, maybe he hasn't totally given up.
I tried every way I know to reach him. He wouldn't open up to me. You're welcome to try, Pete.
Nice out here, huh?
Yeah, I guess so.
You mind if we talk a little? You missed a lot of classes today.
Yeah. I've been sitting here looking at the sky. Sometimes when I look at the sky, it reminds me of home.
That where you wish you were now?
Yeah, I guess so. It's funny, you know, when I was a little kid, I used to like living on the reservation. When I grew a little older and it seemed like all there was dirt, I thought if I could just get away from there, I'd really be free. So I worked real hard at school, so that if I ever got the chance, I could go someplace else, you know? Be something. A somebody. When the program picked me, I thought, wow, I've really got it made now. I might as well be back with my people. I thought things would be different for me. I thought I could change the way things are. But I was wrong.
You know something, Billy? Coming here to Whitman isn't a way for you to escape. It's a way for you to do something positive. Now, if you fail or give up, don't blame it on the way things are. Blame it on yourself. You see, I think the only one who's worried about your being an Indian is you.
What do you mean? I'm proud to be a Navajo.
Then why aren't you standing up in class telling those kids about it? They're not asking you questions about the reservation to get you mad. They're interested. They want to know about your people, what they have to say. Now, if you're as proud as you say you are, you tell them.
Want to go get it? Good morning, Mr. Dixon.
Oh, good morning, good morning. Okay. Yesterday we were talking about the Americanization of the Indian in the latter part of the 19th century. Now, can anybody tell me...
Sorry I'm late, Mr. Dixon.
Glad you could make it. Okay. Now, can anybody tell me some of the problems that arose in trying to assimilate the Indian into the American lifestyle?
Yeah. I can't see why it would be so hard when the government just gave them the land.
Billy?
You have to understand that for generations, the Indian had been taught a different concept of land than the white man. I mean, to the Indian, land was like water or air or sunshine. He just didn't understand how someone could own that.
But I thought the Burke Act of 1906 gave the Indian the opportunity to own his own land.
No, you don't understand. You see, there was nothing in the Indians' tradition that had prepared them to be individual farmers. And those that were ready to make a change in their way of life were usually given the worst possible kind of farmland. To the Indian, land was almost sacred.
Hey, Jason.
Yeah. Wait up. How about to say I'm sorry for jumping you the other day?
That's okay, man. No hard feelings.
Well, looks like Billy really has a new friend now.
Yep, I'd say so.
Yeah, you know, I knew he'd work out just fine as soon as he settled into things. I figure he's just going through a phase.
You did, huh?
Sure, he just had to learn to adapt to a new environment. Isn't it wonderful? I mean, no matter who you are or where you come from, you can fit in right here at Walt Whitman High.
Alice, you're going to be late for class.
Oh, you're right. Hey, see you later. Bye.